Good evening. You're just in time for NT Weekend Edition, live from county number 13, Tharaka Nithi. My name is Trevor Ombija, but the people here baptize me Ombija, donned in the king's attire.
And my name is Zeynab Ismail, aka Shandigara. Now this apparently means that the one who is always amazed. Now this happened because I was stunned of all the stories that we had for you yesterday. But imagine this, we still have much more amazing stories from this county. But first, the highlights.
Tonight.
Tunapanda gari toka pipeline mpaka hapa Donholm na 20 bob, sasa ni 50 bob. Kwenda town ni 150 na watu wamejaa, watu wamelazimika kutoka Kayole mguu mpaka hapa Donholm.
Public transport operators in Nairobi keep their vehicles at home as police move in to enforce Michuki rules.
Also tonight,
anawaambia warudie medical zaidi ya mara 3. Tunashangaa pastor amekuwa daktari tena.
Couple forced to go home without taking their marriage vows as pastor refuses to officiate elaborately planned wedding in Nakuru.
Elsewhere,
Mheshimiwa, sisi watu wa Malava na usitanganywe. Tumeamua kwa kauli moja, tutatembea na wewe, tutakaa na wewe.
Mheshimiwa Deputy President, I'm telling you, I will stand with you. I'll campaign for you. Upate kura uwe rais wa Kenya. But do me one favor. Usitufanye vile Raila ametufanya bwana.
a group in Western Kenya carry on with the 2022 succession debate as the deputy president tours Mumias.
And President Kenyatta pushes for access to Chinese markets for Kenyan goods in latest trip to China.
NTV Weekend Edition with Trevor Ombija and Zeynab Ismail.
Welcome to the bulletin. Our sign and language interpreter this evening is Rafael Mbalu. But we begin off our bulletin on a sad note. Tonight, family members and relatives of the 2 students who drowned in River Yala yesterday will be spending their second night by the riverbank as drivers continue to search for the bodies of those missing students.
Well, Derek Ouka and Charlotte Atieno perished while on a photo shoot outing with friends as NTV's Ouko Kusa visited the scene of the mishap and filed this report.
There were a total of 6 students at the time of the incident. Stephanie Beatrice, who was part of the group together with Gordon Omondi, witnessed it all.
Wakati tulifika, tulianza na kujipodoa. Watu wote walipodolewa na Charlotte na msichana mwingine ndio alikuwa wa kwanza. Sasa Ouka alikuwa na record everything yenye ilikuwa inafanyika. Charlotte akaambiwa akae mbele. Akakaa mbele, akauliza ati hapa iko sawa? Akakaa sawa. Sasa venye alikuwa anasonga mbele kidogo, akateguka kwa mawe, akaslide na hakuteguka ile ya kuonyesha kuenda, akanyamaza kidogo. Ouka akatuambia venye amenyamaza hivi inakaa kuna kitu mbaya. Alafu Ouka akaruka kwa maji kwenda kumsaidia.
When Ouka dived into the water, the water was
too much for him.
The water was too much for him.
Did you also jump into the water?
So I decided to jump into the water. I jumped and I caught the girl. I caught the girl on her shoulder. So I was trying to come to the shores of the river. I told Ouka to leave the girl so that I can come with her to the shore.
But according to Gordon, Ouka, who by then appeared to be overwhelmed by the waters, clung on to the girl, and both of them were swept down the river by the raging waters.
So kufika huko mbele ndio sana nilikwenda kuruka sana watangulie. Ndio yule msichana akapotea. Then watu wakawa noga huko wakanialata ati usiniingie hapo ndani. That place is so deep.
Charlotte and the 3 girls were allegedly taking part in a traditional photo shoot organized by a photographer going by the name JB Photography. Derek was a second-year student at Jaramogi Oginga Odinga University, where I was studying community health and development, while Charlotte was a first-year diploma student studying supply chain at Bondo Technical Training Institute. By this evening, none of the bodies had been retrieved. The families of the missing students are now appealing to the government to send in professional divers to help with the search. Okukusa, NTV.
Well, our condolences goes out to the family and friends. We certainly pray for them at these trying times. Away from that, a lavish wedding planned by a couple in Nakuru went up in smoke after the pastor who was meant to officiate the wedding refused to do so. Apostle Jessica Ranja, pastor at the Mizpah House of Prayer Church in Nakuru, refused to officiate a wedding for what he termed as failure by the couple to meet requirements set by the church.
Now, members of the public were treated to the reception feast prepared for invited guests that allegedly cost the couple more than $1 million shillings. Charity Mwangi has the details on the event that left the couple counting losses and nursing great heartache.
From the exquisite reception setup at the Kenya Industrial Training Institute, Nakuru, to the mouth-watering cake, the wedding between Joyce Waithera and Paul Waithaka promised to rival many. But the venue that was supposed to witness great feasting and dancing saw anything but.
Hii harusi tumekuwa tukipanga kama miezi 5 ambayo imeisha. Hizo vitu zote ama zile process ambazo pastor amesingizia tungedhani zingefanyika in time.
Sidhani kama kulikuwa na objection kwa sababu hata ukienda hapo utakuta kanisa ilikuwa imepambwa kuonyesha harusi ilikuwa inangojewa.
Photographers who on any other day would have made a killing counted their losses as no one wanted to keep the memory of the day. Disillusioned sound techs wrapped up the festivities as there was no reason for much celebration following the cancellation of the wedding on account of medical tests that the pastor claims the couple failed to present to the church prior to the wedding.
Amekuwa akifanya repeatedly, anawaambia warudie medical zaidi ya mara 3. Tunashangaa pastor amekuwa daktari tena. So we are very sad kwa ambaye amefanyika kwa sister yangu.
Hata hatukumuona juu alikataa kutoka, hakujitokesha. Hata saa hii tutarudi Nairobi bila kujua mwenye kushikanisha alikuwa nani.
The couple had kept the hope of there being a wedding alive as they tried to meet the demands of the pastor. But after 6 p.m., the preacher dashed their hopes, claiming that it was too late for the wedding to take place in accordance with the law.
Saa hii tukikuja hata tumewacha hiyo gari ya msichana imesimama pale kwa gate. Hata anashindwa aingie reception kufanya nini.
Members of the public were treated to a feast, which they seemed to greatly appreciate, albeit sympathizing with the couple whose marital bliss was put off for another day. According to the Marriage Act, a marriage is only voidable if at the date of the marriage, either party was and has ever since remained incapable of consummating it, if either party was and has ever since remained subject to recurrent attacks of insanity, if there was a failure to give notice of intention to marry under Section 25, or if the notice of objection to the intended marriage having been given was not withdrawn or dismissed. Also, if the fact that a person officiating the marriage was not lawfully entitled to officiate, or failure to register the marriage. Charity Mwangi, NTV.
All right, and away from that, transport in various parts of the capital was paralyzed today after police officers impounded public service vehicles that did not comply with the Mishuki rules as recently ordered by the Interior and Transport Cabinet Secretaries.
Well, Nairobi residents encountered hardship trying to move from one point to another this morning. Some hiked lifts, others walked, and some had to part with more money as fare. NTV's Sharon Baranga has more.
At Buruburu Police Station in Nairobi, public service vehicles that had flouted traffic rules were driven to this yard awaiting inspection tomorrow, with the keys left at the police station. Police officers conducting the operation say they were after matatus that had tinted windows, bull bars, modified or protruding wheels, glaring lights, loud horns, among other things. Later, during inspection, they will be checking for the condition of speed governors and safety belts before the owners are charged. The operation paralyzed transport for the better part of the morning hours. Many were forced to walk long distances as others had to dig deep into their pockets following the increase in fares. Most of the people affected use Jogoo, Outer Ring, Kangundo and Ngong roads.
Kutoka kwenye nimetoka nalipa 100 ni maji. Na sasa hivi wamenishukishia hapa. Sasa itabidi sana nitembee mpaka town. Sio hiyo ni kazi nyingine. Sasa itakuwa yani itakuwa ni kama tunalipa 200 from Kayole.
Na kawaida unalipanga how much?
20 bob, only 20 bob. 20 bob ama 30 bob.
Imenilazimu kutembea kutoka pipeline mguu paka hapa hivi juu fare iko juu. Tulikuwa tunapanda gari kutoka pipeline paka hapa Donholm na 20 bob. Sasa ni 50 bob. Kwenda town ni 150. Na watu wamejaa, watu wamelazimika kutoka Kayole mguu mpaka hapa Donholm.
Imebidi nilipe gari from Kayole pale Masimba up to here 70 bob. Of which gari huwa zinalipisha to Doni from there Masimba 30 bob. Unaona sasa 40 ya juu. Kesho hata kwanza ndo nahofia, sijui itakuwaje, sijui tutafanya kazi namna gani.
The operation caught many by surprise, as it had been earlier announced that the Mishuki rules will be enforced as from 12th of this month.
Na hao wanangojanga kitu ifanyike kwanza ndio waanze kuleta hizo breakdown zao. Hao wanalala sana, wanangoja watu wakufe ndio waanze kusema Mishuki rules for what? Wao kujua hawakujua kitambo.
Imebidi sasa niombe lift tu niende tao.
Mimi kama conductor, kama gari hazijaamka kufanya kazi, unapata pia sisi tunaumia.
Following the crackdown, a number of public service vehicles were withdrawn from normal operations as the owners feared they will be impounded.
It is highly likely that the operation that began today will continue tomorrow. According to police officers, all this is in an effort to restore sanity on the roads. Sharon Baranga, NTV, Nairobi.
All right, let's talk about a bit of politics now. And leaders from Western Kenya have backed William Ruto's 2022 presidential bid, saying he's the best bet to lead the country. The more than 15 MPs said Ruto's past performance in the ministries of higher education and agriculture was testimony enough that he can take Kenya to the next level.
They spoke today in Malava and Mumias East constituencies in Kakamega County when they accompanied Ruto for interdenominational prayers.
The MPs say Deputy President William Ruto is known for initiating development projects throughout the country, adding that only Ruto has the focus and energy to transform Kenya.
Huyu makamu wa rais anajulikana kwa maendeleo. Na ndio sababu wengine wetu tuko hapa kwa sababu sisi tunafuatana na maendeleo.
Well, Mheshimiwa Deputy President, I'm telling you, I will stand with you. I'll campaign for you. Upate kura uwe rais wa Kenya. But do me one favor. Usitufanye vile Raila ametufanya bwana.
Mheshimiwa Boni Khalwale, mimi ndio majibu ya hayo. Kwa sababu mimi tabu nimepitia hapa nyumbani na maneno ya ODM. Mimi leo nimefanya kazi na hasla huyu miezi ngapi? Mimi ni nani katika nchi ya Kenya hii?
The leaders also urged the Luhya community to back Ruto's 2022 presidential bid, saying that Luhya community alone cannot lead the country unless it works with others.
Kura inakuja mwaka wa 2022, tupigie William Ruto kura ya urais.
2017 mulifanya ile mulifanya. Nataka kuwasihi 2022 msirudie ile njia mulienda nayo.
While calling for unity among Kenyans, Deputy President William Ruto urged leaders to concentrate on the needs of Kenyans.
Sasa tuungane bila ya kujali huyu ni wa chama hii, ule ni wa chama ingine, huyu ni wa kona hii, huyu ni wa kona ingine. Sisi wote tuliochaguliwa tuwe timu moja ya kushughulikia mahitaji ya maendeleo ya wananchi wa hapa Kakamega na wa taifa letu lote la Kenya.
At the same time, Ruto reiterated that the government will pay sugar farmers their money because their companies have failed to do so.
Waziri ambaye anahusika na mambo ya kilimo atatangaza rasmi ile jopo ambayo itashughulikia mambo ya kuchunguza madeni ya wakulima, ili ndani ya mwezi mmoja tuweze kulipa wakulima wetu wote pesa zao ambazo wamengojea kwa muda mrefu kutokana na madeni ya kampuni za public za sukari ambayo iko katika sehemu hii.
Ruto is expected to tour Migori County on Monday in a bid to launch a series of road projects. Nur Abdulaziz, NTV.
All right, now as more and more Kenyan industries demand protection from the influx of Chinese goods, the Jubilee administration is celebrating what it describes as a major step forward in leveling the playing field.
Well, following bilateral talks between President Uhuru Kenyatta and his Chinese counterpart Xi Jinping, State House reports that the world's largest economy has agreed to fast-track access of Kenya's agricultural produce to its market. President Kenyatta has expressed hope that this development will counter what he describes as the negative propaganda peddled by detractors of Kenya's relationship with China.
All trading licenses issued to foreigners for things that can be done by locals must be nullified forthwith.
No longer at ease. The growing discontent with China's tightening grip on Kenya's economy is hard to miss. And while President Uhuru Kenyatta has previously wagged his finger at the importation of fish from China,
jameni, tunatoa samaki kutoka China na wenzetu hapa hata kama finance bill imepita, think out of the box. Tunaweza kusema hiyo samaki ambayo imefika ni mbaya. Na unaifungia. Kuna njia nyingi serikali inaweza kufanya kazi. Ndio tuhakikishe watu yetu wamefaidika jameni.
His tone was markedly different coming out of bilateral talks with his Chinese counterpart, Xi Jinping, branding the concern voiced over Kenya's debt to China and unfair competition created by the influx of Chinese goods as negative propaganda peddled by detractors of our strong Sino-African relations. The statement informed by China's agreement to fast-track a Kenyan desire to address the obvious advantage enjoyed by China in trade.
In fact, standing this import exhibition is a signal that the Chinese realize they need to review the balance of trade.
Other wins coming out of President Kenyatta's most recent trip to China, his second in 2 months, are plans by the world's largest producer of silk, Guangdong Silktex Group, to set up shop in Kenya. There are also plans, State House reports, by Cherami China Africa Investment Management to construct a cancer treatment center in Kenya in partnership with the University of Nairobi. This news follows a swift reaction by the Chinese of a threat to retaliate in response to President Kenyatta's aversion to the importation of fish from China. Caught up in a trade spat with its largest trade partner, the United States of America, the inaugural Import Expo is viewed as part of China's effort to rebrand itself as a fair trade partner. Olive Barrows, NTV.
Now, Rift Valley leaders have expressed opposition to the release of billions of shillings to parastatals dogged by allegations of misuse of public funds, as well as privatization of several companies, such as the New Kenya Cooperative Creameries, KCC.
Led by Uasin Gishu Governor Jackson Mandago, the leaders said the government should hold on to the funds until the appointment of a new board members. This comes with the government indicating that it is set to release 2 billion shillings to the National Cereals and Produce Board. The leaders further argued that the government risks losing more funds to corruption cartels.
Now, Mandago urged the Privatization Commission to sit down with the governors from different interested counties where the companies are located for proper assessment, as they further urged the governors involved not to relent but to protect their county assets.
Kabla Privatization Commission waketi na waseme watauza kampuni hii, waongee na kaunti ambazo inahusika. Kwa hivyo kama watauza Muhoroni, sharti waongee na Governor Jepkwony, iende kwa County Assembly ya Kericho, waongee na Governor Anyang'o, iende kwa County Assembly ya Kisumu, wakubaliane. Lakini mtu ati anashuka kutoka Nairobi na kusema anauza, kwani anafikiri hiyo ni hewa inauzwa?
So we're about to take a short break here from Tharaka Nithi, but picture this: a quack doctor who procures abortions for young children, young women, was arrested and then released to come back and practice the same practice, putting the question, is he above the law, or are the police just simply inept?
Now that will be coming to you tomorrow on NTV tonight at 9 p.m. You do not want to miss that exclusive. Let's take a short break.
He was accused of raping his patients
Anaadmitwa na wake sana and then anawa overcharge, analala nao huko kwa x-ray room.
Thorough inquiry we will definitely reveal this.
After he was exposed, he went into hiding.
Wakati nimeingia kwa hoteli Getogo, nikaona hiyo uso iko familia na ile niliona kwa TV.
3 years later, he's back. He now has a new name and a new address.
I will see.
Welcome back to the broadcast. Later on in this bulletin, I'll be speaking to the Chuka University Vice Chancellor, Professor Erastus Mjoka. We'll be covering a lot of issues raised by the students, from the issue of the gate pass to academic courses that are here and the practical knowledge they expect, and his future plan for the university. But before that...
Indeed, and Kaloleni Deputy County Commissioner Paul Rotich has accused parents of laxity in enforcing social values in their children, raising concern over the high cases of pregnant schoolgirls in the sub-county.
Well, at least 38 primary school girls and 8 secondary school girls are said to be pregnant in the area, a situation that Rotich terms as an education crisis, as these girls' pursuit of education will be affected by their current status. Kilifi County Executive Officer for Education and Information Technology, Professor Gabriel Katana, asked members of the community to weave into the issue of early sexual contact and early pregnancy in their dialogue with the youth.
Now, the two were speaking during the graduation ceremony of PP2 pupils at the Twinkle Stars Academy.
As a sub-county, we are not satisfied with the role being played by the parents. Wazazi wanatuangusha sana. Tusipoangalia, tutakuwa tukipoteza watoto wachanga ambaye wangetunufaisha siku zijazo, ambaye wangeweza kuwa professionals ambayo tungetegemea.
As a government tulisema tunapiga marufuku disco matanga. Kitu tumeshoona ni kwamba ule utekelezaji ya ile kupigwa marufuku haufanyiki. Disco matanga bado iko vijijini. Lakini it's not only the disco matanga. Watoto wengi hawaingii mimba kwa sababu wanaenda kwa disco matanga. Inakuwa ni sababu tu ya kusema kwamba mimi ninatoka nyumbani. Mambo mengi yanafanyika mule njia where we have the informal groupings.
Now, the Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education candidates are set to begin their examinations tomorrow. They will be sitting for mathematics and chemistry papers.
As was the case with the Kenya Certificate of Primary Education, KCSE will be tightly monitored to ensure there are no cases of cheating in the exams. This year, over 660,000 candidates will sit for the exams.
220 schools are being watched closely by officers from the Ministry of Education due to previous attempts at cheating in national examinations last year. More than 1,200 candidates had their results cancelled due to irregularities.
Well, the Teacher Service Commission has sacked one teacher and suspended 45 others for helping candidates cheat in the 2017 examinations. So agriculture is one of the major economic activities right here in Tharaka Nithi. The vital sources of livelihood in this county is however rocked with challenges which include inadequate markets, high cost of farm inputs, among others.
And while the county admits that the challenges affect productivity, it has also devised ways to achieve maximum produce by addressing problems facing the farmers. NTV's Melito Letenges spent a day with the farmers in the dairy, tea and coffee sectors in this county and now brings us this report.
Tharaka Nithi County produces an average of 55 million litres of milk annually, worth 1.9 billion. This production is owed to farmers such as Florence Mukuru, who have learnt the ropes of dairy farming to boost agricultural production in the area. She has 5 cows, with each cow giving her returns of up to 50,000 a month during a calving period.
Asubuhi uko na pesa, saa sita uko na pesa, jioni uko na pesa. Wakati uko na ng'ombe, hakuna umaskini.
To increase milk production, the county government rolled out a subsidy program for artificial insemination in the region, where farmers can get the breeding done for 200 shillings as opposed to 3,000 shillings. Over 14 milk coolers have also been installed in the county for quality production. However, farmers are faced with challenges in identifying on heat signals of their cows.
Ni afadhali watusaidie na kujua ni chumvi nzuri gani ile ya kupatia ng'ombe ndio wakati wote. After at least ikikafu 2-3 months unaweka mbegu ingine.
As a county, we are going to train them more on the area of livestock management, dairy management, so that they're able to detect and know the period required to detect when your cow is on heat.
Away from dairy farming, the tea and coffee sectors in the region have been a cash cow for years. However, they have been rocked by challenges which range from brokery, pests and diseases to dwindling income.
wale watu wanafanya kazi hawalipwi, na wakitolipwa sasa wakienda unakuta sasa kahawa imeharibika.
The Department of Agriculture in Tharaka Nithi holds that the cash crop farming sector is aided by varying qualities of coffee, which in the end reduce the value once the produce from different farms are put in one basket.
This involves the Department of Agriculture, the management of the factory, to ensure that all the farmers are producing almost nearly same quality.
Agriculture is the backbone of the economy here in Tharaka Nithi County, a sector that the county government is banking on for the sustainability of its residents. But to improve this sector, the county government insists on paying attention to the farmers' needs. Mulita Oletenges, NTV, Tharaka Nithi County.
So the county of Tharaka Nithi is set to join the country's tourism sector with the introduction of a new circuit aimed at exploring the county's untapped tourism potential.
Now, the county is home to a series of exciting attractions, including the famed scenic route to the top of Mount Kenya. NTV's Brenda Wanga reports.
This is in Nduru village, Ganga Ward, Mara constituency. The thick foliage hides the home of hundreds of thousands of mammals that are usually considered a bad omen. These are the Inanduru bat caves. The nocturnal creatures cover the entire roof of the caves, and the caves are rumored to be the longest cave in the region. The bats attract tourists and farmers who come to see the creatures and collect the droppings for use as manure. This isn't the only attraction in this county. In Marimanti is another hidden gem. Accessing this, however, isn't for the faint-hearted. The falls are stark contrast to the surrounding environment that is dry and semi-arid. But perhaps the significant feature is the county's stake of Mount Kenya. The county boasts one of the most scenic routes to the summit of the mountain, the Chogoria route. Apart from the views, the county also lays claim to 3 of the 26 lakes that lay on the mountain. Our travels took us to Mount Ellis, the 3rd largest lake on Mount Kenya.
To get to this rare tourist attraction, you have to trek for about 8 kilometers from the Chogoria Gate and climb to an altitude of about 3,000 meters above sea level. But once you get here, the view is worth it.
The lake occupies 28 acres of land. Lake Alice and Lake Michelson are the other 2 larger lakes on the mountain. These attractions, coupled with the elephant maternity, are some of the attractions that the county is now seeking to market as tourist attractions in a bid to get more visitors, both local and foreign, to the county.
Tumetengeneza circuit ama mzunguko ambao utasaidia wageni wakija wataona nini.
Brenda Wanga, NTV.
All right, thank you so much, Brenda Wanga. I don't know, Trevor, have you ever climbed Mount Kenya before?
I'm not fit enough, but I intend to go there after Brenda's story. Absolutely scenic.
Amazing, beautiful. I guess that's why they call me Siandagara. I am just... All right, and now firefighting is one of the hardest, daring and most challenging fields. For Alex Mugambi, the job came with a sense of fulfillment. He's the man who takes charge of any eventuality that would require the services of the fire brigade in Tharaka Nithi County, which has 3 fire departments.
Well, he told Zeynab here his story and what drives him.
My name is Alex Mugambi. I'm the in charge of fire and rescue services in Tharaka Nithi. I've been a firefighter for the last 2 years. When I was young, I didn't see myself being a firefighter, but as I grew up, I started getting passion towards firefighting because on the university I did an IT degree. I did some computer science, but when I joined service, I shifted to firefighting because I was so passionate about saving life and other things. You have to be on standby. Even if you are off shift, you're on standby. You can be called upon to assist the team that is on shift. So my family and my members of the family, the extended family, normally understand me that I can't be sleeping, but I'll get a call and I'll have to go out because it is all about life saving.
Okay.
Anytime you go to an accident, what is very important is to ensure that the scene is safe before you start doing other activities like evacuating the casualty. The event of fire adrenaline goes up, we do things very rapidly, we do things very fast. We respond in a kilometer, we respond in less than 3 minutes. So our preparation is always up to standard because we are always here, we are always alert. Sometimes it gets very hot, but you see the kind of clothing we have, they are heat resistant, not fire resistant. Even if you approach some heat to a very close distance, you might not feel the heat. And we are going to a building that is very smoking. There's a lot of smoke. We have some breathing apparatus, as you can see there. We have breathing apparatus. We don't on breathing apparatus. We get in, we suppress the fire, we evacuate the casualties.
Du computer location, sir. Good man, number one. Thank you, sir.
We don't normally do fire alone. We do water rescue. We do pits and bore rescue. Some people get trapped in boreholes. We also do accidents. We also do fires. So when you combine those incidences, in a month we might get like an average of 10 per month. And advise so many people to join fire service because as much as it's a career, saving lives and you more lives. Because in the event you assist someone, you are blessed.
And it's an absolutely amazing job that they do to keep us safe from any eventuality, whether fire, accidents, and we thank them every day. Now, the Nithi Bridge has been described as a killer bridge. It's located about 3 kilometers from where we are now, and an early spot check revealed a series of contours that merge into a steep descent that crosses River Nithi. Governor Muthomi Njuki says he has a blueprint to improve the road, but it can only be implemented in collaboration with the national government since the road is under the Kenya National Highways Authority. Take a look.
Despite the glaring sign, this road still claims hundreds of lives. Here, nature seems to have conspired to endanger the lives of travelers.
This is the most dangerous bridge in northern and central Africa.
The steep descent and ascent combined with the gravitational force downwards collude to a shocking chain of death.
It does not matter how much this government can spend to have straight pillars from up Medero, and you cross this valley and you join the road at the upper side so that we can avoid this slope, so that we just have one straight. Failure to that, the other's much cheaper alternative. This road can pass through here, but it means that we have to buy land here. Farmers have to be compensated, homes have to be compensated.
The road manned by the Kenya National Highways Authority connects several counties, but the countless accidents has overwhelmed the Chuka Level 4 hospital, which is exactly 2.5 kilometers away.
We have a black spot here near the bridge. Most of the patients, whenever there's an accident, they are brought here. So we are on the highway and we handle most of the emergencies here.
The barriers behind me bear the tales of when steel meets concrete in a fatal crash that has claimed many lives on this same bridge. In 2000, 40 people died right here. 2 years before that, 58 people died when the bus they were traveling in lost control, broke through the barriers and plunged right into the river in front of me.
Hapa kuna kuanga na ajali nyingi kwa wingi. Hata wakati huu ndio imepungua zaidi. Mbeleni ilikuwa kwa wingi sana.
Sometimes though, human error, neglect or just plain impunity also adds to the already dire situation on the road.
All right, and away from that, I'll be passing the mantle now to my colleague Trevor, who's sitting down with the Vice-Chancellor of Chuka University, Mr. Erastus Njoka, just to discuss some of the issues in regards to this university and the way forward. Trevor.
Well, thanks, Zeynab, and we'll get straight into thanks for making time for us, Professor Erastus Njoka, VC, Chuka University, and for hosting us as well.
Thank you.
It's a brilliant institution you have around here. Let's just get straight into it, sir. How do you intend to make Chuka University the university of choice and set it apart from all the other universities?
Okay, thank you very much, Trevor. We started that long time ago but we want to keep on improving. We want to make it a great university through beautification, putting the best landscape within the university, putting state-of-the-art structures. I think you have seen some of them already, employing the best lecturers and buying the best equipment. Even now, we have some of the best equipment in this republic. We have a machine called elemental analyzer, which is found in Chuka and South Africa. We have the Kelvin probe, which is found in South Africa and Egypt, and many others.
It's interesting that you'd talk about state-of-the-art equipment. I was speaking to some of your students and they say that they have a problem accessing practical material, especially the media students, for example. They say there's a fully fledged studio of some sorts, but they've never had access to it.
We are equipping it. In fact, we have been taking our students to Nairobi, to some other places, but we have been equipping it. And right now, we have been given frequency by the Communication Authority of Kenya, 98.8. So within the next 2 months, we'll open it, and it will be a wonderful studio for our students. You know, you don't start with everything. You start slowly, but now we have enough equipment. We are going to start a radio station straight away and a TV station for the students.
Okay. So that's
and of course the community.
All right. And what is the plan for STEM? That is the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, because there's been a research that shows that applied statistics, for example, is very marketable. You have a blueprint. In fact, you have a curriculum in your office, but it's yet to kick off.
Yeah, we last year we advertised for that course, the applied statistics, because we have enough teachers, lecturers for that course. What we have economics and statistics, and right now we have a new curriculum for the one which is applied. So we have no problem with lecturers. In fact, of late we have taken our lecturers to some countries. One of our lecturers was in Mexico and is standing very well. He is back, and we feel we have what it requires. Start a very strong department of applied statistics, and the curriculum is there.
So at what point will it start, though? Because you've had it for a while in your office.
From September next year.
Okay.
Yeah, for the government students and for the integrated class.
Okay.
But for self-sponsored, we can start as early as January.
Okay.
Yeah.
Talk to me about student welfare, and one of the other things that your students here were complaining about is the rationale behind the gate pass. They say they're only allowed into the school as long as they've cleared all their school fees. But sometimes help, which they depend on, delays, so they end up missing classes.
Yeah, there is that kind of complaint.
Yeah.
What happens is that the competition from the government is a bit low. So if they don't pay their fees fully, we can end up having problems in paying for the services, and also in paying the lecturers, the power, and many other things. So the gate pass is a security gadget. One, anybody entering into the university has to have it, and that is a show of legitimacy of the student. But then the next one is the fees. That gadget shows that somebody has complied with the requirements of the fees payment, and because we need that fees for many purposes for the university, but we don't expel anybody. We know people have problems. We tell the students to go accumulate the fees. When it is enough, they come back. They can pause for some time and then come back, but we don't expel our students. If you keep them here and we need that money for service, it will be very difficult for the university. In fact, there are some universities which are collapsing. Many others do not allow students to enter without paying fees for the whole year. We are talking of fees for a semester.
Your tenure comes to an end in 2022. What is the plan after that? Are you running for office?
In fact, my term is ending in 2023. It's not 2022.
Yeah.
Right now, I have work to do. Yeah.
Will you be running for office?
Because I have been given work by the government.
Yeah.
My term started in June, so it read in 2023. At the same time, I have many other things that I do. I do the work of Njurincheke. I have the patron of Chuka Mangombe Development Authority, and many other things.
Talking of Njurincheke, who ordained you for that? Because you're saying you're the patron, but there's also the ambassador, Francis, who's also a patron. So which faction are you in?
It's not a faction. It's the registered Njurincheke. That is the Njurincheke where I'm the patron. The Njurincheke, whose chairman is called Muntwai Dinkia, and the Secretary General is called Washington Bayer.
Yeah.
Before it was Rutere. That is the registered in Njurincheke, and that is where I'm the patron.
But critics say you've never been to the shrine.
We have been going there.
Njurincheke leaders are there.
The shrine is a place where the elders choose the leaders. They don't go to elect people there. In Meru, we have 7 houses. Those are sub-tribes. We have the Imenti, Tigania, Chuka, Dharaka, Mwembe, Mudambi. All of them, you can't go to the shrine to elect people there.
Okay.
The 7 people go there and they choose the leaders. But because of politicization, they have been trying to tell people to go there and elect people not in the Njoli way.
Yeah.
Njoli means unduly. A court of a few selected wise men. So you can't elect people like in a political rally, the way they go and elect people.
So you believe you're the bona fide Njurincheke?
Yeah,
patron?
it is the one which is registered. Yeah, registered by the government of Kenya.
Okay. And as we close, did you confirm, are you running for office?
No. I have told you I am the VC.
There's been talks that you're running for office, please.
Yeah, when the politicians fear some people, they start panicking. But I am the VC.
All right.
What do they want? Do they want to go and compete with them?
Okay. In one line, what would you like to be remembered for as we close that?
I would like to be remembered for transforming the lives of young people and the people who like learning. I would like to have the best university in this republic and the whole of Africa by making sure that my students have the best buildings, they have the best landscaped place, they have the best lecturers and the best equipment.
All right. Professor Rastus,
through collaboration.
Thank you so much for making time for us. We'll have this discussion another time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's take a short break here in TV Weekend Edition, live from Tharaka Nithi County number 13 and Chuka University. We'll see you in just a bit. Welcome back to the broadcast. Let's get to the rest of the day's stories. And unknown to many, the tourism industry has played a bigger role in community projects and conservation efforts in the country.
There are tourists who, aside from visiting the sandy beaches, take their time to volunteer and financially help local communities in their day-to-day running of their affairs.
Harit Salim toured Kwale County and sampled some of the projects that owe their survival to the industry.
When you speak about tourism in this country, what comes to mind is the biggest hotels, bed capacity, and maybe the rates. But there's much more to this than meets the eye.
This is Colobus Conservation in Diani, Kwale County. A tourist attraction and, most importantly, a community project meant to care for and protect the most endangered species of monkeys, Colobus monkeys. Other types of monkeys are also cared for here. This is one of the projects that owes its success to the tourism industry. Our tour to go watch the Colobus monkeys at the conservation led us to this couple. They are tourists visiting the south coast. They are also veterinary volunteers offering their services for 2 weeks.
My name is Antonio Giuliano. I come from Italy, but I've been working in England now for 10 years, and I am a vet. I came in here with Emily, my girlfriend. We heard about this place online. We thought it was a great project. We like the fact that their main intention is, rehabilitate the monkey and then release them and educate the local community about how important is wildlife in general as well, not just the monkey in particular, the colobus that are more in danger.
Part of the community is getting people work and making more awareness of the situation with the monkeys here, so it's worthwhile for everyone to know and find out about this.
These two are only a small portion of many tourists who, aside from enjoying the sights the country has to offer, also give back to the communities they visit.
It's a great feeling. I feel as if I'm doing something really valuable and making a difference in animal welfare and animal conservation. The Colobus Trust is internationally known, and I'd heard about it in the UK from other people who'd been here to Diani and heard about the great work that they do, so felt that this was the place for me to come.
The management here has been collaborating with the community to sensitize other people on the importance of monkeys, especially these endangered species of colobus.
Tourist akikuja hapa ni manufaa kwake pia, lakini wengi wanatumia kama delicacy, wanyama hawa ni kama delicacy kwao, na wengine wanatumia kama jinsi ya ushirikina, wengine wanaamini zina nguvu katika ushirikina. So wengi tunawafundisha ama kuhamasisha kwamba wana right ya kuishi na kuwatoa katika ile kitamaduni ama kule kufikiria kwamba wanaweza tumika katika njia nyingine. Jambo nyingine la pili, tuwafundisha kuhusu mazingira na umuhimu wa wanyama.
Anthony Gashuna has been volunteering here for more than 5 years. He is now considered as the main man here. According to him, tourism has had a much bigger impact on their work here.
We have a volunteer program here and we get experience from them. Some of them are like botanists, we have veterinary doctors, we have people who are studying anthropology, and they also come to give us, we exchange ideas with them here. Because conservation is not just like a national thing, it's an international. We have to exchange ideas with other people from around the world. Because us guys run on we do eco tours, and we depend on the tourists coming to visit our center. So if they don't come because of travel advisories, then most of our projects we cannot do because we depend on them, yeah. And also the volunteer program, they're not also going to come if they have travel advisories.
A few meters from the Colobus Conservation, there is another project. This one protects sea turtles. Turtles are considered as a delicacy, and this has endangered their survival. Their shells and eggs too are valuable. Luciana Perazzi is a resident here and founder of Turtle Information Center, which works hand in hand with Watamu Turtle Watch. She says tourists and players in the hotel industry have played a significant role in their campaign to protect turtles.
I have 12 monitors along the beach, all hand-picked between beach boys, fishermen, kiosk sellers, but people from the beach who are interested in conservation. It's not just turtles, it's conservation everywhere. You've just been to Colobus Conservation. Help us. We do a lot of their work in Diani Colobus Conservation. Help us along the beaches. Help us monitor these eggs. Help us to stop some of the beach operators from stealing the eggs or killing the turtles for bushmeat.
At this center, locals and tourists are taught about this animal, their life cycle, protection and reproduction. Residents here like Juma offer their services on voluntary basis after receiving training.
Tunashukuru, tulipata Luciana akatupeleka shule. Sasa tunafanya hii kazi kwa moyo mmoja. Tunaangalia kasa kama ametaga mahali pazuri, tunawacha. Kama ametaga mahali pabaya, tunaondoa, tunaweka mahali pazuri.
Here we meet Jenny Choma, a marine biologist and researcher. She came here as a tourist but also decided to render her services to this project. She has devised a new method of taking count of the turtles in a bid to offer protection.
Every turtle has a unique pattern of scales on their face. Just here behind the eye, all the way back along. This portion of their face, the pattern of scales, you can see the shape is different. And every single turtle, we take a picture of both sides of their face, and then you can see every one as an individual. So just by swimming around underwater, we take pictures, both sides of the face, compare them afterwards, and you can build a database and learn about the exact population that's living along the reefs. So we can learn more about the population, where they are, how they use the reef, and hopefully then protect them better.
Few kilometers from the Turtle Center, there is another community project, Diani Children's Village. Faith Ndungu is in charge here. She says the tourism industry has been of great help to see the orphans through their basic needs.
Ni challenge kwa saidi ya pesa. Tuna manage through donations na well-wishers wale wanakuja na wengine wanakuja wana sponsor. Nowadays si wengi sana wanakuja, although inategemea na seasons. Kwa sababu kama wakati huu kulikuwa na challenges kwa tourism industry. Kwa hivyo hata wao kuja inakuwa ni vingumu, lakini vile kama Diani inaenda na season.
The help they get from donors has enabled them start their own projects, especially in farming, to manage their other costs. Harit Salim, NTV.
All right, and we take a very short break here from County 13. But when we come back, Brian Otwal will be bringing you all the sporting action from Nairobi at the Nation Center.
Brian Otual. Mary Keitany is the 2018 New York Marathon champion, winning her 4th title at the Big Apple in a time of 2 hours, 22 minutes and 52 seconds, ahead of compatriot and 2018 London Marathon champion Vivian Cheruiyot. Keitany regained her title she won in 2014, 2015 and 2016 from American Shalon Flanagan, who beat the Kenyan marathon star to 2nd place in 2017. Flanagan settled for 3rd. Meanwhile, 3-time world half-marathon champion Geoffrey Kamworor was dethroned, finishing 3rd in a race won by Ethiopian Lelisa Desisa. Desisa kicked through to cross the finish line in 2 hours, 5 minutes and 59 seconds, 2 seconds ahead of compatriot Shaura Kitata, while Kamworor finished in 3rd. London Marathon champion Daniel Wanjiru finished in 5th place.
Winning time, 2 hours, 5 minutes and 59 seconds. The Stan champion from Ethiopia.
And the Ghanaian national women football team arrived in the country this evening ahead of their upcoming international friendly match against the Harambee Starlets. The two teams are set to face off on Wednesday at 4 p.m. at the Kasarani Stadium, with the Black Queens coach Hayford Bashuri noting that the friendly will be a good build-up to the upcoming Africa Women Cup of Nations. Also lined up for the Harambee Starlets is a friendly match against Uganda before the team jets out to Ghana on November 14th in time for the Continental Showpiece. Starlets are in Group B alongside defending champions Nigeria, South Africa and Zambia.
We are here for a training tour. We are coming to play Kenya too, see the standard here too, and then when we go back home, we'll make amends and see how we'll approach the tournament.
Now the women football has developed a lot, which everyone is doing good, everyone is doing very well. Yeah, so I cannot say Ghana is, because it has changed a lot. Yeah, the women's game has changed a lot. So Kenya is doing well, Ghana too is doing well. So gradually we will be, up there.
And 5 foreign-based players have been named in the national under-23 football team expected in camp on Friday by head coach Francis Kimanzi ahead of the Kenya's Africa under-23 Cup of Nations qualifier against Mauritius. Harambee Stars pair of Joseph Okumu, based in the US, and Ovelo Ochieng's plying his trade in Sweden, join England-based duo of Jonah Ayunga and Henry Ochieng, as Georgia-based Alwyn Terra also earned a call-up. Kenya will play the first leg at home at the Kasarani Stadium before jetting out to Mauritius for the reverse tie 4 days later. The winner of the tie on aggregate will proceed to the second round. The Africa Cup of Nations, that is the under-23, is scheduled for Egypt, will act as a qualifier to the Olympics.
To build the next team.
And former Everton striker, now legend Yakubu Ayekbeni and SportPesa ambassador has tipped midfielder Francis Kahata to shine when Gor Mahia takes on his former club in a friendly match at Goodison Park on Tuesday. Warothe Kiru, who is in the UK, spoke to the Everton legend on what Gor players need to do in this once-in-a-lifetime chance, as well as how playing professional football changed his life.
Everton legend Yakubu is one of the ambassadors for SportPesa, and he's in town towards his former club play Gor Mahia, and he had quite a bit to say about this. And Yakubu, first of all, just what's your advice to Gor Mahia as they endeavor on this historic match?
It's a great opportunity for them to be here. So many guys, they play all their life professional football. They never get the opportunity to leave their country, so they have to take it and make it count.
You are in Kenya, and you got to watch Gor Mahia when they played Simba in the Super Cup. What do you remember most about Gor Mahia?
When you look at the defense, they're more aggressive, they're more determination, they want to play. And when you look at the midfield, they're really, really good. There's another guy, I can't remember his name, he got dread with left foot. He's really, Kahata, yeah. I do like him, the way he plays. He's really good. I think it's going to cause trouble on Tuesday.
A number of young players who've come with Gor Mahia, and they may get a chance to play on Tuesday night. What would be your advice to them?
For these young boys to learn, they need to take it. They might never get it in their lifetime. They need to show for it. They need to be more determination. to give everything.
Having played in the APL and also coming from an African background, what differences do you see in football in Africa and football in Europe?
The organization is not good. The pitch is not good. The facilities, you go Europe, you see the facilities. The organization is good. When they said 9 o'clock is 9 o'clock, not 11 o'clock.
Yakubu, you made a name for yourself and became an Everton legend. What has football done for you in life?
It's hard, you know, when you don't have money. When you're kids, then you grow up, then you have money. I want to be there. I don't want to go back to poverty. You know, I was lucky enough. I have good people and I listen. You know, I'm not rich, but I'm comfortable in my life. You know, I'm happy with my life. I'm blessed.
And staying in England, Manchester City cruised back to the top of the Premier League after thrashing Southampton 6-1 at the Etihad Stadium. The victory was built on 3 goals in the opening 18 minutes as Wesley Hood's own goal was... But Trevor and Zeynab will be back in a bit. Have a lovely night. My name is Brian Otwal.
right, and that wraps it up for the Stronghold edition, Tharaka Nithi. My name is Trevor Ombija. The people of Tharaka Nithi call me Ombija. You know what that means? The voice of the voiceless. And if you're wondering what this whole attire means, I'll start with you, Zeynab. What does yours mean?
Well, this is an attire that I got from one of the homestead that I visited, and apparently the Tharaka woman was supposed to wear the most beautiful, you know, attire. And according to my age group, I was supposed to wear very colorful beads throughout, you know, my head. I don't have it here. My arms, my neck, and you know, through the waist. And this was also, you know, if you're not a married woman, this was to attract, you know, a future
potential
suitors, you know. And I think it's such a distinct kind of attire, and it's beautiful. But I can see you look like, you know, you could join the Nchurin Cheke.
Yes, a Tharaka king with a bit of Italian swag, you know. And this is why they say, this is why they're calling you Siandigara, because they're very amazed by most of the tales from around this place.
I know, and you look amazing, by the way.
Thank you so much.
I think
this
you should
would
keep
work
it
for a potential suitor. And that's how we wrap it up here in Tharaka Nithi, the Stronghold edition. My name is Trevor Ombija, Tomugambi, aka. We might be coming to your county next, and we'll be donned in all this attire, like they say from around here. Guy Amura Deme Muno.
And my name is Zeynab Ismail, aka Chandigara, and I say Nuega and Lala Nuega.